Hi, I'm Larry Richardson, your step-by-step chef. In this episode, I want to thank everyone who's followed along with step-by-stepchef.com to make delicious and nutritious meals that are extremely veggie-rich. To reward you for that, we're going to do something really naughty. I'm going to show you how to make chocolate ice cream using 4 ingredients and no ice cream churn. Yeah, that's possible. It's really easy, it's really delicious, and you can literally take the basic vanilla ice cream phase and turn it into pretty much any ice cream you want. Now, also on stepbystepchef.com, I want to tell you this, I'm going to post a video that shows you a slightly more complex and a slightly more tasty version of this ice cream. And mainly, it's a little bit more tasty because it doesn't use condensed milk. It uses whole milk, real sugar, and real vanilla beans. But this version is perfect if you're going to make it in a hurry or if you want to make it with a bunch of kids. So come on, let's cook. Okay, so here are the ingredients we're going to use to create our no ice cream churn chocolate ice cream. The first thing we want is a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Now get the sweetened version because that's where all of our sugar comes from to sweeten the ice cream. The next thing we're going to use is 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream. Again, get the heavy whipping cream because we want this to thicken up. We're also going to use 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and we're going to use a 1/4 cup of this Hershey's cocoa, and it's the unsweetened version. Get the unsweetened version because if you get the sweetened version, literally this ice cream is going to become so sweet, it's going to dissolve the teeth right out of your head. So we want the unsweetened version. And I'm telling you, this is all we need, and I'm going to show you how to put it together. Okay, so here we go. Now the secret to making this ice cream without any kind of ice cream churn is that everything we're using has been chilled. Every bowl we're going to use is cold. It's been in the freezer for a half an hour to an hour. So this bowl is very, very cold. And that will help our ingredients to whip up, thicken up, and form the ice cream. So here's what I want to do first. Here's our whipping cream. It's also been in the freezer for a half an hour to an hour. In fact, it's been in there so long, it froze a little bit on me, so I'm just going to have to pour it in. So here it is. I had to rip the top off. But everything, the colder the better. You just don't want it completely iced over so you can't work with it. But there we go. And now what we're going to do is start to use our hand mixer to beat it, and we're going to test it every now and then using the spatula. And when it gets completely viscous, when it doesn't drip at all, then we're going to add the condensed milk and the other ingredients. So let's go. Okay, so here we are at 2 minutes of mixing. Let's just give it a little test. It's getting a little bit more viscous than really thin. So let's just keep on powering on. Now this usually takes about 7 minutes. If you have one of those built-in mixers, the ones where the top of it just drops right into the bowl and you don't have to hold on to it, that will usually take about 5 or 6 minutes. But this handheld version for the first time for the whipping cream mixing, that takes about 7 minutes. And again, it depends on your mixer, depends on the viscosity of the heavy cream that you're using, and it depends on how chilled down your bowl is. So there is a little play in there, but the main thing is we're going to keep checking that viscosity. How thick is this getting? Okay, so let's take a look after 4 minutes. See, that's much thicker, but there is still some drip coming off, so we have to continue on. Now at this point, you can see it's getting super viscous. So here we are at 6 minutes, and let's see what we got. No drip at all. See that? No drip. So I'm actually going to stop at 6 minutes. So usually it takes me 7. You know, for whatever reason, it's only taking 6 minutes. So here's what we're going to do next. We're pouring in our condensed milk. Now again, the condensed milk has all of the sugar you need in it. If you're using regular milk, what you would have to do is add 3/4 of a cup of sugar to every cup of milk. So you would use 1 cup of milk with 3/4 of a cup of sugar, and that's where your sweetness would come from. I'm trying to get all of this out because I do want this thickness and the sweetness in our chocolate ice cream. And again, I'm going to show you how to make this using raw vanilla beans and milk and sugar in another video, which is probably on my website, stepbystepchef.com, very close to the recipe for this chocolate ice cream. And we'll add our teaspoon of vanilla. So now we're going to mix this for another 1.5 to 2 minutes. And you can hear how the blades are struggling a little bit with this because it is getting very thick, just like ice cream, which is kind of what we're shooting for. Okay, so 1.5 minutes later, everything is really well mixed. Now, if you plan on adding in a flavorant that is a powder, like our chocolate, you can just pour this right in and give it a mixture for about, 15 seconds to half a minute, just to get it all mixed in really well. If you're going to do something like strawberries or chocolate chips, or something that you don't want broken up by the rotors, then you just want to stir those in. So here I am, I'm adding our unsweetened chocolate powder. And I'm just going to mix this up until it's uniform. It's getting a nice ribbon to it. That's a nice thick ice cream. Okay, and that mixed up for a half a minute. Now let's give that a little taste. Oh my goodness. Now, this version is more like chocolate soft serve. The version that I make with the vanilla bean will be more like the scoopable ice creams. But this tastes really delicious. So let me show you what to do with it. So I have this glass pie plate, and what I did is I put it in the freezer so it's super cold too. And what I do is I put our ice cream mix into it, and it probably won't hold all of it. Just put this right into this plate. Oh, maybe it will. Smooth it down. And I like these plates that have a huge amount of surface area because the cold from the freezer can get to it a lot more quickly. If you used a deep plate, if I just put this right into the freezer, it would take forever to cool down. But these shallow dishes are just perfect. So I'm just putting all of this right in there. And then what I'm going to do, there we go. I have to have some that I can eat with my fingers. Let me just stir that little bit of chocolate in. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is put this in the freezer for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. You can eat it earlier, probably after an hour if you want it truly soft serve style. But if you want it to set and you want it to taste like real chocolate ice cream, let it set for 2 to 4 hours, and then it will be nice and solid the whole way through. And I know that's going to take a lot of willpower, but I think you can do it. So I'm going to show you the finished product in 2 hours. So congratulations, look at what you just did. You just made this delicious soft serve style chocolate ice cream. You know, that mix that we used for the chocolate ice cream also makes a powerfully tasty chocolate whipped cream. I mean, you've got to admit that, and I know you tasted some out of the bowl. I just know it. But anyways, this is our ice cream. This is set for 2 hours. I'm going to leave it in for 2 more hours and get it nice and cold all the way through. And that's when you can serve it. And I guarantee you, your family and friends are absolutely going to love this ice cream, and they won't believe you did it yourself. If you want a written copy of this recipe, please go to my website, stepbystepchef.com. There you're also going to find dozens and dozens of videos and recipes that show you the step-by-step way to make delicious meals. Another recipe that's on my site is a slightly more complex vanilla ice cream that uses real vanilla beans. So you're going to get more of the taste of a scoopable ice cream, the kind that you get that they scoop out of the container when you make that recipe. So my name's Larry Richardson. I am your step-by-step chef, and I'll see you in the next episode.